Yeah, good evening. So today we are seeing the game Keymar Vincent versus Magnus Carlsen from the second round of Tata Steel Chess Masters 2023. For this game, Carlsen goes for the Grunfeld, which is very interesting, and I'm pretty sure that Carlsen has experience of playing this against Vincent earlier in the Grenke Classic 2018 or 19. I think it was 2019 actually. I'm not totally sure, which was this game. And e4, d6, and f3 castles, h3, and then e5. And Carlsen won a very, very, very sluggish game. And here he goes for the Grunfeld, knight f3, bishop g7. And if actually they were looking for, if very curious what the strategy of Vincent was when going for the game, because there is this line bishop f4, bishop g7, e3 castle, cd5, knight d5, just not to be very equalish. So if he just wanted something to just slightly press his opponent, he could have gone for this. Sorry, knight a6, bishop a6, queen g2, queen f3, and f3 ba6. But obviously there are some sharper lines in this setup as well, like for example, just a moment. For example, this line with e3 castles, e3 c5, which is a very sharp line, then there may be some other deviations. So he played knight f3, bg7, bg5, which is also a very interesting line. Knight e4. So actually, yeah, so he plays bg5, knight e4, bishop f4, takes, and c6. Now, later on in the game, Peter Swidler was from Chess 24 was commenting that this C6 is extremely interesting because what a lot of times happens in this position is something like castles E3 and C5, and it leads to a lot of mass equality, and it's very difficult to make sense of get something out of the position. And I think there was this game Carlsen Grishuk, which was very similar. It was in this structures, and Grishuk got a slight edge. Sorry, yeah, it was. I'm not sure if Grishuk was white or Carlsen was white, and it just ended without much. So Carlsen plays c6, tries to solidify the center, and just castles. Queen b3, queen a5, idea to put some pressure. Bishop e2 normal, and now there comes another very instructive moment. b5, obviously. And also this bishop g5 looks kind of slow. It seems more natural to castle here. But Vincent played bishop g5, b5, bishop e2, rook e8, just overprotecting, just protecting this pawn, and castles in knight b6 now. Now, this was another very instructive moment. What Swidler said in his commentary was that, recapping the scheme, was that here there seems to be nothing wrong with the move e5, but actually in a lot of these structures, what happens is that e5 actually makes a hook. This e5 pawn sometimes becomes a hook for white to attack on. If instead black plays like knight b6 and bishop b6, bishop f5, bishop c4, like Magnus tried in the game and goes for the c5 break, then white's position lacks targets, which e5 would make a target. So e4, bishop e6, queen c2, c5, and Carlsen goes for the plan that I highlighted a bit earlier. Go for c5. Now, if dc5, knight a4, and white's position is totally in tatters. So I think this phase of the game Magnus handled absolutely brilliantly. Bishop g4, very thematic for the Grunfeld. e6, c4, and just in brilliant position. Rook e6, knight d4, bishop e2, just gaining a tempo. a6, just solidifying the center and aiming for rook e8, because if rook e8 directly, then knight d4, sort of problematic here, although yeah, it does look problematic. And a6 and black understands that strategically he's doing very well because he has a queenside pawn majority. He has a strong bishop, a better bishop, and he should be doing very well. Knight d4, rook e8, rook fe1, and knight a4. And after knight a4, knight c6 was played by Vincent, after which he just came back with queen c7, knight b4, knight c5. And now knight d5, queen c6, bishop g5. And now there comes a Magnus masterclass. Knight e4. idea threatening the g5 bishop if rook e4, then queen d5 simply. And so 97 check, gaining the exchange. But Carlsen rightly evaluated that this position should be much better for him. And he just proceeded with his pawns. And here he had a sizable advantage. Bishop g5, b4, bishop d2, rook d8, gaining control over the d file, rook d3. And he understood that h5 was probably more like desperation. Queen e2, bishop e1. There is a cute tactic with queen d3 here. So Carlsen doesn't fall for it and simply centralizes his queen. Queen e8 check, king g7, rook e3, h6, queen e4. And Carlsen said his preceding play was because he thought this endgame is winning. But the way the game went, he thought may not have been winning, although eventually it seems that all the time it was actually winning. So it's not really very. And see, rook e5, king f2, f5, just to cut off the king and then proceed with the king side play. Or even king f2, yeah, king f2, f5 probably, rook h4, and then just try to queen the a pawn. King d3, rook king e6, and he tries to play on the king side. G5, and again cutting off the king. Again, improving the pawn just bit by bit, improving the position just a little bit. And then he does his job very, very well. And after this, this is quite similar to the Vishy Anand Sir Carlsen Game 5 match from the World Championship, or Game 6 match from the World Championship, sorry. And after f4, rook g2 check, Vincent threw in the towel because now there is no stopping the queen, no stopping the h pawn. So brilliant game by Magnus. Let's just deconstruct how he did it. So first of all, a combative opening choice. Then he understood the way Vincent must be approaching this game. Then c6, not going for equality or not going for sharper options, but playing solid but complex. Then he's playing 97 idea. And the good thing with Magnus is his position understanding is very, very good. Here I am pretty sure that Vincent may have been afraid of e5, but then bishop g3, and I think now f7 is weak, and Carlsen would not actually have gone for e5 is my feeling. So after castles, which I believe may have been the best move, I'm not totally sure how Magnus would have proceeded. Because now if you play knight b6, bishop e2, you can go c4, c5. Although still bishop b6, you can still play, and c4, c5. But yeah. So Vincent went for bishop g5, which as Carlsen said was a tad too slow. And also after bishop g5, he could get b5. Whereas after castles, getting b5 is also possible, but it's now feeling all a little bit slower than it was after bishop g5. So I believe bishop g5 was dubious. But after this, knight b6, sorry, e4, bishop e6, and queen c2, c5, just activating everything. And Carlsen really played a very, very good game. And he just understood this transformation of advantage here with 94, understood that white pieces are very discoordinated, so it's not really an exchange sack. And then just clearly played extremely well in the endgame to win. Rook c3 obviously wins for black here. And after this, he just won the game, and there was no looking back. There were some areas where he said he thought he could improve on his technique, but if you analyze the game deeply enough, you'll find out that there was actually there was no moment where Vincent has realistic drawing chances according to the engine. Obviously, there can practical drawing chances, but Magnus did a good job and he won the game quite well. So thanks for tuning in. Watch you in the third game of the day. Thank you.